Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is the Deadly Tarantula Girl bringing you an episode of Hadrurus Arizonensis, also known as the desert hairy scorpion. This big, beautiful invertebrate is the largest in North America. But before that, I just had to say I have my very first gosling hatching. If you guys didn't know, I've been raising chickens, ducks, geese, and I'm starting button quail, but my African geese did not start laying eggs until about a month ago, and their eggs take 28 days to hatch. And so today I had my very first African goose gosling begin to pip. So I am actually going to show you a little bit about that. And this may not be for the faint of heart because animals being born or hatching is a messy process. But without any further ado, let's take a look at this beautiful young desert hairy. This is one of my beautiful desert hairy scorpions, and this is not a very large specimen. This is one of the smaller ones. I've had some larger animals, but this one was due for a rehouse, so I thought I would take it out and show it to you guys today. You can see that big, beautiful, hairy stinger, which I do realize is the stuff of most people's nightmares. This, like all scorpions, does possess venom, which only comes through the stinger. Their pinchers in the front are not venomous, and they do have a mouth as well, which they use for eating, but not necessarily biting. So if you do encounter a scorpion and wind up getting a painful sting, it's not technically a bite. Yes, you're so cute. Look at you with your big muscly arms. It is not a bite, so people say, oh, I was bitten by a scorpion. Technically, you were stung by a scorpion. This animal is in the genus Hadrurus. I believe there are 8 or 9 species in this genus. This is the largest scorpion in North America, although these do reside all the way down in Mexico. Their native habitat is in Mexico. There are some in Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and I think maybe even the corner of Nevada. They do live in very dry desert regions. Oh, look at you. Although they often will burrow very deeply and even hide in moist areas underneath rocks. They dig very extravagant burrows that are up to 8 feet, which I think is really amazing. And I've seen scorpions digging. If you are going to keep this animal in captivity, they like to be kept warm and relatively dry. Although they do live in areas with monsoons, you can kind of flood one area of their enclosure. You want to make sure that they can get out of the moisture, and you certainly want to make sure that they are not kept wet on a regular basis. If you're going to give them a very good watering, you want it to be on occasion. Some people give them water dishes and some people don't. They tend to be okay either way, so if you're worried about it, definitely use a little bottle cap or some kind of lid that your tiny scorpion can drink out of. They are live bearers. The females will have live young that ride on her back for a week or more. Like most invertebrate species, they can cannibalize. The babies look just like the adults, except they are essentially translucent when they first hatch, which is pretty amazing. I've had a mother with little babies on her back, and some people think it's a total creep factor, but I thought it was really amazing. They like being kept between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, relatively dry. This is a typical coloration of the large blonde body, which is why they are called a desert hairy scorpion. And you might notice that they are so large that you can actually visibly see these long hair on them. Pretty wild. Their venom, especially for their size, is not very potent. This is a species that many people free handle, and if they did envenomate you, it would probably be comparable to a bee sting. Although, you never know whether or not you're allergic until after you are stung, which could essentially put your life in peril. So I don't necessarily recommend handling, or I certainly do not condone people intentionally irritating the animals or things like that, trying to get them to sting. They are insectivores, they're carnivorous, they eat small invertebrates as well as even small vertebrates, which is pretty amazing. Some people like to give their large scorpions pinkies and things like that on occasion, but I tend to stick to crickets and an insect-based diet. These are, in my opinion, the largest, most impressive scorpion that is just so docile and easy to care for, which in my opinion makes them a very wonderful pet. Very comparable to a forest scorpion or an emperor scorpion, although in North America one might argue that their care is actually easier because they don't need as much moisture. I would not recommend keeping them on cork or something that you would keep a tropical species on. You want to put them on vermiculite, natural substrate as long as it's pesticide free, or possibly even sand. But you do want it at least 3 to 4 inches so they can burrow in it, because they do prefer, if they have things to crawl under, they like to have a hide, and they will burrow. If you're interested in learning about their mating practices, I can link a video on breeding scorpions. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this beautiful scorpion, and I want to say happy spring to everyone out there. Hopefully it's getting warm and sunny where you guys are, and that I'll have more babies in the future to come. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.